lovelies, it is yet again hammer time. And last week you saw us put the both sides on. This week we're planning on getting the console, the dash, and the floor done. So the tub is one piece.
Fingers crossed, yes.
That is the goal for today. But before we start anything, there are two specific questions you guys have been throwing at me all week. So I'm gonna quickly answer them before we get started. Okay, one of the questions that you guys have been asking is, how are you gonna support the corners when you've taken away the tub? Well, we're gonna be making some plates here that's gonna tie into both the cage and the suspension. So it's really gonna be even stronger than a stock tub. Second question you guys have been asking me about are, why did you put both sides on when there's already a rock slide right here? What I'm gonna be doing is taking the rock slide off here and I'm gonna be lifting it up essentially and coming across here, all the way across the boat side here. And the step is gonna be higher, giving me more clearance. When you take something out of something, you really should put something back in there. So don't worry, we kind of know what we're doing.
Yeah, we kind of know what we're doing is a gross overstatement. We maybe, almost, sorta, kinda, are making it up, and it's working out. Okay, so we've talked about this a lot, and we've kind of avoided it for now because A, we needed metal, B, we needed to modify the tub further, but now that we've modified the tub, what we end up with now is we have to close up the back of the structure. I'm gonna start with some angle iron that's gonna come off of the inner fender wells. It's gonna be at the same height as what the tub was, and the floor will bolt to that. We've also got some 1x1 square tubing, and we're gonna take this tubing here and use that to brace and support the aluminum, because we're gonna end up with a 53-inch wide and 59-inch long piece, and it's pretty floppy. So between the supports along the side and the support along the bottom, we should have a pretty strong structure. And again, all of that will unbolt and come out. So when we disconnect the fender wells, we can remove all three pieces.
Okay, and whilst Walter is doing that for now, I am gonna be building up the console and the dash quickly, and then I'm gonna go over and help Walter with putting that floor in, building that up. So we got some work to do today.
Okay, we've taken all of our measurements and this is what we've come up with. We've got a piece at the very top that is going to be 59 inches wide. The overall length of it from the very far top to the bottom will be 57 5/8. We've got 36 3/8 for the midsection here in between the two inner fenders, and obviously 52 5/8 and 5 inches for each side that has to be notched. I know you're thinking, like, maybe why don't you just use this piece that came with the Moto-Built kit to determine what the width is between the inner fender wells. Well, if you remember, since we deleted part of the tub, we've deleted thickness of material that's supposed to sit in between the inner fenders, the new inner fenders, and the corners. So essentially, we have to account for that. Let me show you what we're working with right now as far as putting the back together. So you can see here we have some angle iron that will serve as the outer structure connecting the floor of the vehicle to the inner fender, and then we'll have some 1x1 tubing running across from side to side that the floor will bolt to. We have to do all that structure because this floats about 1.5 inches above the structure for the chassis, which isn't even worked out yet. So, which is good because I don't want to have to notch anything, because there will be some angled pieces of metal that come from the chassis to reinforce the bumper in different places. So the fact that it's floating above is a good thing. I've asked Holly to step away from doing the dash for a second so that we can actually shorten the piece of the chassis that is actually going to run adjacent to the inner fender well. It's actually too long. We have 1.5 inch angle iron, but I wanted the additional overhang to support the floor. So that just means we have to shorten the section of it that's in the fender well, which shouldn't be a problem. And we're just going to run the plasma because nobody wants to cut that with a cutoff disc, right?
Right.
Way too much mess, way too much time.
I'm just really happy you've taken me away from my IKEA furniture.
Oh, it is like IKEA furniture, isn't it?
So we're scrapping what we've just, like what we decided to do first of all.
Throwing it all away. But we've come up with a better idea.
Yes.
So the pieces that Holly Plasma cut, they were great. The lines look good, nice work, but we're not going to use them. Too short on this side to really bolt in or weld, and we're just going to leave the angle iron the way that it is and use some pieces that were left over from us cutting these ones out. In doing this, we have to kind of think about what the rear of the chassis is going to look like, and we've figured part of that out as well. We've created a piece of tubing that is a rectangular piece of tubing. It's a 1.5 by 3. This is going to be the rear bar of the chassis underneath, behind the armor. So right now it's sitting outside of the armor because we can't lift the armor up enough to get it behind there. But we're going to clearance out a small chunk of the armor, and this will sit behind there, and there's actually a bolt hole for the armor that will go to this. And we're even going to cut it to match the line of the armor and cap it off. So that'll be a nice strong piece sitting at the back of the chassis.
Yeah.
And we're also going to run additional tubes beyond these ones directly to this one triangulated, so that similar to what the structure was already there. So we're kind of stealing or using the structure and outline that Wide Open Designs had.
Yes.
We're just doing it differently. And this will also serve as a mounting point for other things. So we're happy to have this square tubing behind the armor as a tail end of the chassis before you get to the outside structure, which will include a bumper.
I've just taken the time to clean up the metal where I'm going to be putting those cross members. I'm going to be welding those in now. I had to change my measurements just a little bit. So I'm just going to quickly remeasure everything, remark everything, and get those cross members burnt in here. What have you been up to?
I'm just clearancing the remainder of this wheel well, what was the wheel well, so that we can get these backing plates in that strengthen up this portion of the new extended rock slider.
we were here until late, the wee hours of the morning, if you will. Now, we're back here at the shop this morning. That's Walter, Rudy, Higgins, Fergus, and myself. We're all here this morning. Rudy has so very kindly brought down his tube bender from his shop. I don't have one, and I'm at the point where I want to start building the structure off the rear part of the chassis. But before we get to that, and hopefully fingers crossed we do get to that, we have some clearancing to get done. Those corner panels have to come on and off a couple of times. The both sides have to come on and off a couple of times. So we're gonna go in, do that, and yeah, let's get to work. Alright, so we're here.
And Rudy's here.
And Rudy's here.
Glad to be here.
Well, he's being very nice
I'm not
because
glad. He's not
we're not prepared for him
You're right.
yet.
Yeah, no, and when they told me what they needed, and then I walked in the door, we're not even close to that spot.
But we will be.
We will be.
We will.
We will be very soon. I need to move a couple of rib nuts that I did.
I did them, to be fair.
Okay, I was trying to be nice. Walter did them,
I
but
did
we
the
need
rib nuts,
we
my
need to
fault.
move them a little bit. We're just going to continue on working. So before there was a much bigger gap here, and also there was a big gap right up in here, but now there's not. So I'm really excited because both sides are going to be the same. Time has come. We're actually going to be bending tube with Rudy, so it's not a wasted journey for you.
Yeah, that wasn't a waste. It's a good day.
It is a good day. Okay, so I know I explained to you at the beginning of the video what we're going to be doing tubing wise. We're basically going to be building up the structure on the rear end here, and we're going to be building some tubing out for the suspension and then the cage coming up here. So I'm really happy with the way everything looks. This came out really well. I have to fully weld this in, but it's tacked in place right now. The floor will go on top of that. The dash is in, the console not so much because we got sent the wrong part, but I will show you what it kind of looks like in here a little later on.
So we're gonna go to 9 inches, and that's where we're gonna start.
Yep.
And this is as much as we should need right there. So
Did you say 36 or 38?
I said 38, but
So you're going with 36?
yeah, because I'm not cutting it yet.
Okay.
We'll just feed that through. We'll see how close I was.
All right.
So in the future, we'll bend all of them at 94.
And then the spring back is...
Yeah, they're not, this isn't exactly 90. I'd probably run it to 96 if I was getting a true 90, but it doesn't matter. So I'm gonna hold it up, and you can measure it straight down on that side. Yep.
I'm so scared about this pen. He brought his own pen. Who does that? Rudy does.
That's right.
Alright, I just stepped outside so I can explain what is happening. That first tube that we cut and bent at a 90 that I wanted, you know, at the rear part of the wheel well, we're actually going to move that to the front of the wheel well and put that at a 70 angle. It's just going to look way better, and I want to do something different in the rear. So Walter is in there notching the tube because the notcher is a little too high for me. I have to be on a step ladder to do that, and I hate tube notchers as it is. I'm sure plenty of you have done the same, where you've gone a little hard and it's taken your wrist with you. Ugh, I did that with Nessie. It's my one tool that I really dislike, but I'm gonna have to grow some because I'm gonna have to start using that a lot more. And actually, I want to know what tool you absolutely despise using. I think Walter's is the die grinder, terrible. Rudy's is anything with a paddle, hates it. So yeah, leave your answer in the comments below. I can't wait to read those, but let's get back to it.
We have to cleanse that.
Huh? Yeah, you're gonna have to finish this thing right here.
Lessons with Rudy.
Yeah, so on the first one, I always have a little bit extra scrap. So the first bar we cut, this was our scrap. Second bar, we're gonna have like less than an inch on both sides. Maybe a little longer on this one, but it's because I was still playing it safe. But what I do before I actually mark my tube, so when it's straight still, I know that I need 5 inches before the bend, at a minimum.
Okay.
So I run the 5 inches, and then I can guess how far I need the bar. So I'll measure from there to there, make it 3 foot. And then after the bar is bent and cut, I have my 3 foot mark here, and I hold it up and I can see that there's 4 inches there that I don't need. So on my next bar, when I go measure it flat again, so 3 feet, but I can go short 4 inches. So the front end was good. We like that. We like that distance. If it needed to change, say we cut off like a 2 to 3 inch piece here, we'll subtract. So say if it doesn't need to be 5, we can take 3 inches off of that. Then it will only be a 2 inch. So we'll mark 2 inches from the end. That will be the new mark, and then we'll subtract that down here. So the 3 foot minus 2 inches. But then we also had 4 inches from that side of the cutoff. So now it's 6 inches short. And so that's the exact measurement of our next piece without all the extra waste. If that made any sense at all.
What? Totally get it. I'm just joking.
Okay.
So like Holly said earlier in the video, a lot of you guys asked questions about how we're gonna reinforce the side here. And our answer was these plates that you cut out. So we're gonna take these, and if you can imagine, they're gonna sit on the inside of this. And now that Holly and Rudy are building the cage structure that's gonna come up and create the base for our cage, we're gonna put these on the inside. They're gonna use the existing bolt holes for the Moto-built corners, and they will sit inside of this, and there'll be a tube that comes off of the structure that Holly and Rudy are making now to reinforce this plate, and we'll have gussets. So this will be what holds up and protects the corner. Even though I don't know if it really needs it, it'll be plenty strong. It'll be a heck of a lot stronger than what was there with the original thin tub material.
All right, we've been hard at work. There's been a lot of cutting, a lot of back and forthing, a lot of measuring. Once, twice, and thrice.
Sometimes the marks move. It's kind of weird.
Her and I are going to be putting the floor in. We'll put the center console in there, even although not the right part. But then we will have a full tub.
And
My
then we
tub.
can get the rubber duckies and the soap out. Oh wait, different tub?
Completely different tub.
Different
Okay,
tub,
we need to go
different
feed
tub.
this guy. We'll be back.
All right, so we took Holly's super expensive sheet of aluminum and we wrecked it. We cut it to bits. Luckily,
He's not joking. They're there and there. They're all over the place.
yeah. Luckily, we cut it into the bits that we need, which is this. This is the new floor that comes in and out. So I think it looks all right if you get all the scratches out of it. See, I ruined it.
No, it's perfect.
Watch this. Scratched it.
Rad.
Matter of fact.
You did scratch it. So now we're just cleaning it up, and it's time to place it in there, and then we're gonna go to dinner
Yep.
because we changed plans.
We did change plans. So
We decided to
now-
keep working.
Now, after this piece is trimmed and cleaned.
We'll go to dinner.
All right, at the beginning of this episode, we were planning on having a fully finished tub. Well, we have a tub.
We have a tub.
We have a tub. We have the floor. We have the first structure of the. We have the first structure of the cage. We have the dash. We have the console, and feeling really, really good about it.
Now it's gonna have to come on and off and on and off. This
And-
chassis probably another 30 times.
Yeah.
You guys you don't get to see like all of that, but that's probably the least fun part of all of this. But the exciting thing now is it's coming off in one piece. It's all going to be one piece. It's going to be one rigid structure. And soon enough, we'll be ripping this off and completely turning our attention to the chassis, the drivetrain, and the suspension,
Yep.
which brings up what is next.
Yes, we're going to be looking at our quite large 14-bolt axles that we have here. I've never trusted an axle. I've never put gears in. This is a whole new territory for me, but I have to say, if I'm able to do it and you guys are thinking about doing something like this, go for it.
Or if you've done it before and there's anything about setting up gears and 14-bolt axles or trusting 14-bolt axles that you think would be helpful to us, please let us know.
Please.
Because we are not above taking advice.
No.
Our YouTube certification requires that we take advice from people, so
Exactly.
let us know.
Exactly. Now, moving on to what's going on with us next is we're going to be going to the off-road games here in a couple of weeks' time. Now, if you've ordered your t-shirts, I'll be sending those out on the 13th of March. But if you're going to be coming here for the games, let me know your order. Send your order number to hcfmotorsports@gmail.com and I will make sure to hold those back for you so that you can come to the booth and you can get them there.
Yeah, we can't wait to see you guys there. This is going to be fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Now, you can probably tell that we look a little bit tired. We've been working really hard on this. We've been having a lot of fun, but it's time for us to go home, probably feed Fergus. So, thanks for watching.